You okay to go back to the World Cup, Sydney?
World Cup's so boring.
You all right?
Danny Dichio, Sportsnet Soccer. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Danny Dichio.
Louder, God, louder.
Danny Dichio. Danny Dichio. Danny Dichio.
Okay, that's it.
All right. We got VAR. We got Iran nearly beating Portugal.
Are we going to start with VAR?
We got Spain just getting it done at the end. I don't know where to begin is what I'm saying, McCallum.
Is Spain good?
Is Spain good?
Was Sid praying on the floor of the room that we were watching the game in together?
I think he was doing more than praying, to be quite honest. There was more than praying going on.
There was some bodily fluids at play. I don't want to speak too much.
Where would you like? Is VAR really gotten to the point? For those who don't know, video replay has it gotten to the point where that's where we start on what was an incredible match day?
Well, listen, I'm not a big fan of VAR. I've got to tell you that. But leading up to the World Cup, I thought it would be too much distraction going on, too much time consuming in making the decision. And I think it's been pretty good so far. But for me, there's been two really bad decisions today. First of all, in the Spain game, I thought there was a poor decision from the referee there. And in the Portugal game, there was a correct decision for the penalty, for Ronaldo's penalty, to go back to it. But for the yellow card and also for the handball of the Iran penalty kick, I thought it was the wrong decision, in my opinion. So, as I said, it's been pretty good so far. I don't think it's been too time-consuming. I don't think it's affected the game so far, but I think they're slowly starting to see cracks in it, and it could, as we go into the knockout stages, affect some large teams going out of the World Cup.
If you're on the other side of the Cedric decision at the end of the Portugal game, the handball, don't you want that? You would want that, right?
I would claim it, of course. I don't think I would get it.
I'm fine with it. Of all the things I'm annoyed with right now, I'm actually fine with that.
Okay, but hold on. If Ronaldo gets a red card,
well, hold the phone. Hold the phone, McAuliffe. Guy doesn't do anything. The ref's looking at it for like 10 minutes, wondering if he's going to take him out of the next round.
You thought that was a poor decision, and in part because, I mean, I've never played the game at that level, but that seems to be like you would have to rethink the way you play the game off the ball with all of these cameras now watching, Danny.
Yeah. And there was something that just came in towards the end of my career called Pro Zone, and every player in the stadium had a camera on him, but it was due to like GPS, how many passes you've made.
Right.
And I just feel now with VAR, this is kind of similar to it, but it's helping the referee. And as you said, there's certain stuff that goes on off of the ball, whether it be at corner kicks, free kicks, just in the run of play, that the referee usually doesn't see, or the linesman may catch up with. But there's certain intricacies that is part of the game as well. And I think we're going to slowly start seeing players having to play and manage their games differently, whether they're a physical player, whether they're a quick player, whether they're a slow defender that normally kind of tugs strikers' shirts and gets away with it. Normally, the whole game is going to move into a different direction because of all these various cameras that are watching them now.
Yeah.
A ton going on with this tournament right now, Timmy. Obviously, want to get to Germany and England from the weekend. But one thing I wanted to ask concerning Portugal and Uruguay, because that's the matchup now, Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern. It wasn't going to be. Now it is. That has penalties written all over it. Like, are Uruguay beatable? Portugal look beatable right now. How do you see that game playing out? Because Spain will beat Russia. I'm not even going to talk about it. Spain's going to beat Russia.
You think so?
That's not worth anyone's time. What happens in Uruguay, Portugal Saturday afternoon?
I think it's going to be a very defensive game, very organised. I think Uruguay have been okay so far. They impressed me today against Russia, but Russia went down to 10 men.
Haven't been spectacular.
Haven't been spectacular, but defensively they've been very, very sound. They don't concede a lot of goals. They have an experienced backline that have played together for a long time, and two guys that have played together at club level as well in Godin. And I just feel that with Portugal, if they play a defensive game, which their coach likes playing, they won the Euros that way, Sid. No disrespect.
Oh, sorry. What are you, sorry. you talking about them?
He's got it in his pocket.
Hey, give me the zoom in, baby.
Let
me tell you something. That's what Danny Dichio's talking about right there.
The same way
that's what he's talking about.
The same way Portugal ripped Greece for winning that way, Portugal won that way.
But it was effective, and they won it. Fair play to them.
Right.
And if they can go through to the quarterfinals, semi-finals with this group of players in the same way, then I think it will be a success. I really do. I think they have certain players within the squad. Even the old man, Quaresma, came in today and scored a wonderful goal. They have the pieces there, but I just don't think the coach lets the shackles off at times, and they are very, very defensive-minded.
He believes that if you can't defend, you can't win these things.
I know, but I just like they have the players there to go out and support Ronaldo, but I think they rely on a moment of brilliance from him too much at times.
Right. Speaking of team games, Spain at its height, played that team game. I'm going to ask you something very, very simple. Spain any good?
They're very good individually. I think the turnaround in the head coach leaving them just prior to the World Cup starting has had an effect on them. They said it wouldn't have no effect, but I really do feel that it has an effect on them. Hierro's come in, who's a wonderful player, servant to the Spanish national team, Real Madrid captain. But there's something not right with this team. I have to say there's something not right. Everyone thought they would walk this group.
Yeah.
They really did. They thought it was set up to be the next round. It would be Spain versus Russia, Spain versus Uruguay. I think Portugal showed how you can actually get at them and score goals against them. And even today, Morocco didn't even score a goal in the tournament prior to playing them. And they went 2 goals up, and they looked very comfortable at times.
Can I pour a little out for my homies at Young and Steels, by the way, 6-0? Irani, they fought well. I'm going to pour a little out for my
Irani
homies.
nearly eliminated Portugal.
Oh, my goodness.
With seconds to go.
Side netting left
he
foot.
Saw me in my he saw me in my weakest moment.
Right.
That nearly happened.
So for my half Iranian kids, I give a little shout out.
I've never seen Sid that quiet for as long as 2 minutes in my life.
Speaking of quiet, let's look ahead to tomorrow. Around this time tomorrow, we're going to be talking about Argentina. In what vein will we be talking about Argentina? Because they have to beat Nigeria and get help. Are they going through or not?
I don't think so. I think this is really built up to be a death match because these two teams are really going to go at each other. They're very physical teams, quick teams. Argentina, there's inside turmoil within this group at the moment, whether it be not believing in Sampaoli's tactics, not believing in certain players being picked ahead of certain players. There's rumours that Dybala can't play with Messi. Who can't play with Messi? Us 3 could play with Messi. We just have to give. Maybe
I can make good runs. tell them the runs I can make, Cal. I can run him behind the back.
I just think there's bigger things happening with this Argentina team, and I hate to compare them to my English team at the moment, where they're nowhere near as talented as this Argentinian squad. But the togetherness that they're showing at the moment, the spirit that they're showing in wanting to believe in Gareth Southgate's tactics or the way they're trying to play. They're having fun. But
yeah.
I look at Argentina, I look at the pressure that Messi, even before the games, he looked so stressed out.
That shot before the second game, McAllister, I know you were off. He was like this during the national anthem. Now, there's no lyrics in the Argentina national anthem, but he was like this. It was unbelievable to watch.
I was in South Bend, Indiana, and I was getting tweets about this guy going off on Messi, and it was a little distracting from watching a baseball camp that I was at. But let me ask you this. Is that, like, how big can Canadians understand the pressure that Messi is under in this spot? Because everyone like him, if you are going to take pictures with goats before the World Cup starts, you have to perform at a level that is much above what he has done thus far. Can we comprehend the pressure that he is under in this game tomorrow?
I really don't think we can, especially in this sport, in football, because it's obviously seen a lot different here. It's still a young, kind of emerging game here, although there's a lot of cultural backgrounds that have watched the game for a long, long time, but through the spectator, the fan that watches the game, maybe it be their first World Cup. I don't think they understand the pressure that he is on. But I think it's the way he handles this pressure differently to the likes of Ronaldo, where Ronaldo, he seizes on the opportunity to be the man, to be the face of his country, where I think Messi is a little bit different.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful player, probably one of the best players that we're ever going to see in our timeline. We're very lucky to see what he's done with his club team, but he hasn't achieved that with his national team, and that's where he's going to be really earmarked as, was he the best player at this time? Where Ronaldo is a little bit different. He loves being at centre stage. He loves taking his country on the back of his shoulder. He can do it. Where I think Messi has a little bit of a problem with it. Even at club football with Barcelona.
But he's a true number 10, right? Like, he's a facilitator.
Of course he is a true number 10, but is there any real true number 10s left in the game at this moment in time?
Yeah.
Could you say Ronaldo, just because he's 6'3", beautiful looks, great strike on him,
good looking guy.
Is he not a number 10?
Yeah.
He makes things happen for Portugal.
Yeah.
But we get stuck in this old kind of cliche of he's a little guy, he's very close to the ground, centre of gravity, he's got unbelievable skills, so he's a true number 10. Yeah.
And to credit Messi,
I remember a number 10 Pele scoring some big goals in his time.
Well,
right?
and there's another guy who wore that number for Argentina that did it at other times as well.
Yes.
Diego Maradona.
Who wants to meet the Argentinian team, by the way, before the game tomorrow.
To be a fly on the wall for that brigade.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, you guys, don't be stupid. As he smokes a stove.
Yeah, he's got it.
Listen, to Messi's credit, a hat-trick final qualifying game. The only reason Argentina's here is Messi.
Yeah.
Messi, however, 5 career World Cup goals. Harry Kane, this World Cup, has 5 goals.
goals in 2 games.
Okay?
Yeah.
He has 5 goals. Germany got up off the mat over the weekend as well. Let's remember the defending champions here and your boy, Tony Cruz. Who's going further in this tournament, England or Germany?
It's a tough one. But I think Germany. And I think they're going to meet actually probably in the quarters or semis if England get through this next stage.
Germany might get Brazil in the round of 16.
But Brazil haven't been pulling up no trees as well.
No.
They left it late as well.
Can I steal that?
Pull it
Say
up.
it? I love that. Pulling up trees.
Yeah.
I just feel that everyone's kind of not really shone so far. The 2 teams that have really impressed me have been Croatia. They've been very organised,
Fantastic, yeah.
very good in the midfield with their creativity, and they've looked a threat on the counter.
Yeah.
And they've played some good teams as well.
They got a 10.
And Colombia really impressed me yesterday.
Really, even with Poland looking that poor, you're that impressed with Colombia?
I just think with Colombia, they had a little bit of a backtrack in the first game. They went down to 10 men after 4 minutes, I think, against Japan, who were tidy as well.
First game was a write-off.
First game's a write-off, but if all their players, the likes of Falcao, who scored a goal, Quintero, James Rodriguez, Cuadrado came into the game
James was
yesterday.
on another level
Unbelievable.
yesterday.
They're a team that maybe can't get to the final, but I think they could cause a couple of upsets, and England could meet them in the next round if not Japan or it could even be Senegal as well, who have frightened a lot of people.
But if England play loose, I've never in my life seen an England team play loose. I have to say, other than Italian 90.
We're talking about that pressure
And maybe
on Messi, right?
Euro 96. I've never seen an English team enjoy themselves in one of these tournaments because the media pressure is.
It's easy to enjoy yourself in that one.
But I think it's important. That's why this start is important, regardless of how bad Panama are, and they are. And Tunisia weren't great, but it's just the enjoyment factor, I think, is
For sure.
massive
And I was
for this
back,
young team.
I was back in England 2-3 weeks ago now, and I was at St George's, the national team camp, and they were actually there along with the women's team as well. And there was such a calmness in the camp, and Southgate had allowed a lot of the media to come in and spend time with the players on 1v1, and it was very kind of eye-opening for me to see, because normal camps you'll see they're shut off from the rest of the world, and they'll have one media scrum just before the camp starts, and it's kind of very rigid, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and it was very relaxed, and I think the media have respected the team and the individuals so much. I think
Except when an assistant coach has the lineup exposed.
and it wasn't even the lineup in the end, by the way.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
So
You're right.
maybe that was a trick.
You know what the best part of all of this chaos is so far is that it seems like this is a World Cup to be won. If someone wants to step up and come forward, this is a World Cup to be won, and there's a bunch of different teams that we could put in that spot, Sydney. Maybe including Portugal.
Ain't done yet. They didn't look great.
Uruguay.
They didn't look great 2 years ago, right? First 3 games. Danny Dichio. What a mundial this has been. You know what? I like this English team. I got to say.
You do?
Yeah. I'm kind of rooting for
Can
them.
we get that back on replay in a couple of
I
weeks?
know. I don't mind it.
Portugal.
Yeah,
Lingard's
they're fun to watch at the
They're
moment.
fun.
Yeah, they are very
Hopefully
fun.
this segment was fun to watch back at home. He's a light. Danny Dichio. Plays soccer.
Just going to keep talking.
Just keep talking. He's